Hello, good morning. Can everybody please take your seats, get seated so we can get started? Oh, and please be sure to silence your cell phones. Good morning. One more time. Good morning. I'm Dr. Eric Benjamin. I'm the interim vice president and provost of the Rockville campus of Montgomery College. And it is my privilege to stand before you as we gather for the fall 2023 opening meeting. I hope each of you had a restful, relaxing, and perhaps even an adventurous summer, because as we come together today, it is my sincere hope that you are feeling rejuvenated and ready to embark on a new educational journey filled with exploration, growth, and discovery. To my amazing colleagues, your dedication and unwavering commitment to our students has always been the driving force behind college success. And as we navigate the challenges and opportunities that this academic year holds, I'm confident that your expertise and enthusiasm will continue to light the path for our students. I extend a warm welcome to all our students, faculty, staff, and administrators that are here today. Also, I want to extend a warm welcome not only to those in the room, but to those joining us via live stream. Your virtual presence underscores the unbreakable bond of our college community, no matter the physical distance that may separate us. This occasion stands as a testament to the collective effort of many individuals. And I would like to take a moment to express my heartfelt gratitude to everyone who has worked tirelessly to ensure the seamless execution of this event. A special shout out goes to our facilities teams. Your tireless work and dedication inside and outside our campus facilities creates an environment conducive to excellence. And to our colleagues in IT, MCTV, and public safety, your commitment to our community's well-being is deeply appreciated. You all have done amazing work this summer to foster an environment that supports the success of our students, staff, and faculty. Maya Angelou's profound statement, "Education is the passport to the future, for tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today," holds a timeless wisdom that reverberates deeply as we stand on the threshold of a new academic year. These words manifest the essence of our purpose and commitment as educators and scholars. They remind us of the immense responsibility we bear, not only in shaping the destinies of our students, but also the trajectories of the communities we live. As we embark on this new academic year, consider the ripple effect of every lecture, every practice, every discussion, every project, and every collaboration that takes place. We may have 20 students in a class, on our team, or in our program, but they only have one you. Make it count. Let us foster an environment where curiosity thrives, where diverse perspectives are valued, and where collaboration is the bedrock which great communities are forged. In closing, I want to reiterate my warmest welcome to each and every one of you. Thank you for being an integral part of the Montgomery College community. Here's to a successful, fulfilling, and unforgettable year ahead. And now I would like to welcome to the podium our 2023-2024 Chair of College Council, Ms. Shakenna Adams-Gormley, for a governance welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Benjamin. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Fall 2023 opening meeting. My name is Shakenna Adams-Gormley, and I am excited to be serving as the College Council Chair for the 2023-2024 academic year, along with my Vice Chair, Dr. Paul Miller, and my secretary, Ms. Talandra Ryan. I've been with the college for 15 years, working in the Office of Student Financial Aid. Normally, I work in the background, providing support to College Council and the other 12 councils, but this year I decided to step out of my shadows and bring forth my leadership skills. I wanted my peers to see that they do not need to be a supervisor or above to participate or hold a leadership position in governance. Governance is for everyone. MC's participatory governance wants to promote a sense of belonging for everyone at the college. Participatory governance is a process of organized interactions where all college stakeholders, faculty, staff, students, and administrators who participate in thoughtful deliberation provide input and offer feedback into decision-making that is shared with Dr. Williams and our senior leadership. The PowerPoint slide here displays the participatory governance structure. We welcome you to attend any of the 4 constituent councils, 4 campus councils, 4 functional councils, and/or college council. All of the chairs of these councils make up the college council membership. There's representation from every area of the college. All governance meetings are held via Zoom and are open to all members of the college community. We want to continue to encourage each of you to get involved and make active contributions to the college using the governance process. The governance theme for the academic 23-24 is cultivating connections across the college community to empower everyone's voice. I encourage you to get involved so that you can make a difference for our employees and our students. We need your voice. Attend council meetings. Each council will market its meetings through various means such as Inside MC, email blasts, and other social media platforms. All council meeting times, dates, agendas, and minutes are located on the MC Governance website. In addition, there are 10 minutes allotted at the beginning of every council meeting for constituent concerns. This is the opportunity for you as college employees and students to voice any concerns. It is important that you attend the meetings to hear about valuable information about the incredible work and programs happening at the college. Please visit our governance website for additional details about each council, our governance videos, and our annual reports, and ways to reach each council. We look forward to seeing you throughout the year. During the fall semester, look forward to our upcoming informational sessions. Also, we look forward to your support of our goals that align with the strategic plan and the transformational aspirations. In the spring semester, you can support governance by participating in the upcoming nominations and elections. Staff members, please plan to attend the Staff Enrichment Day in the spring semester on March 13th. Staff, students, faculty, and administrators, there is a place for you in governance. Thank you to every member of the MC community for your support and participation. And now I have the honor and the privilege to introduce our very own president, Dr. Jermaine F. Williams. However, before we hear the president's address, please view the video about our new mission statement and give your attention to the video, and next we welcome Dr. Williams to the podium.
Montgomery College
is where students discover their passions,
and unlock their potential to transform lives,
enrich the community,
and change the world.
Montgomery College is where students discover their passions
and unlock their potential to transform lives,
enrich the community,
and change the world.
Montgomery College
is where students discover their passions,
unlock their potential to transform lives,
enrich the community,
and change the world.
What a fantastic video. That was really awesome, awesome. How's everybody doing? Yeah? Welcome to Fall 2023, come on. Yeah, that's more like it. All right. I hope everyone had a restful summer or a busy summer or a creative summer, whatever summer that you had planned. I hope it worked out exactly as you planned it. My family and I had a great summer. We enjoyed the summer by bike riding, trying new foods, visiting awesome sites like the zoo, and immersing ourselves in the multicultural, multilingual country of Spain. Yeah, it was pretty awesome. As you see, the boys really enjoyed it, as did the adults. Getting away for me, and I hope for you, it resets my system a bit. And I have to say, though, even with getting away and resetting my system, I was really, really excited to come back because we have so much activity and so much on the horizon. I'm thrilled about our transformational aspirations. I'm excited about the implementation of our strategic plan. And as you know, it's a robust plan, and we'll continue to hear more about the plan. But a good place to start is what you just heard, our video, right? The mission statement. Montgomery College is where students discover their passions and unlock their potential to transform lives, enrich the community, and change the world. Mission statements are very high level. With that said, at its most fundamental level, it is about what we do. Students discovering their passions takes exploration. It means moving into the unknown or deepening their understanding of an area. It also means building relationships. That involves engaging students with empathy and equity in an effort to ensure a sense of belonging. When you are in a new territory, as many of our students are, you have to rely on people. Those people are you. You teach, counsel, advise, tutor, coach, mentor, ensure safe and clean learning environments, and so much more. You create educational opportunities. These opportunities should empower students to unearth their passions so they can build their professional lives around them. In order to discover their passions, they need guidance, encourage, empathy, and equity. Talent and training are the tools that will position them to find jobs with family-sustaining wages in their areas of passion. And ultimately, they will contribute to the public good through civic engagement. Now, once a student has found their passion, they really begin to focus on unlocking their potential. Again, you are critical in this process. Students can make extraordinary progress on tough academic material or navigating life demands when they are in a supportive environment. That holistic support can help them unlock their potential. We all know the feeling of being propelled by passion and how that it can impact our trajectory and outcome. It is the same for our students. Ms. Roberts' experience, for example, was about more than just academics. It was deeply personal. She obviously experienced that sense of belonging that keeps students engaged. That matters now more than ever, when the climate of higher ed is being negatively impacted by the Supreme Court ruling earlier in the summer. To use Justice Sonia Sotomayor's words in her dissent, we must continue to oppose the entrenchment of racial inequality in education, the very foundation of our democratic government and pluralistic society. Our efforts to ensure our students feel valued will not be changed by this ruling. In fact, I hope we will double down on reminding our students that they do belong, that they have great potential, and that they can transform their lives and enrich their communities. Last week, the U.S. Department of Education and the U.S. Department of Justice jointly issued a Dear Colleague letter and a 7-page question and answer document. The document explicitly states institutions of higher education may continue to articulate missions and goals tied to student body diversity and can continue to use strategies that remove barriers and expand opportunity for all. The college's open admission policy will not be impacted, and the ruling is unlikely to impact other current policies. What this decision does is it provides us with an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to transformational change. We will continue to unapologetically pursue transformation in a manner that embodies diversity, equity, and inclusion. As you know, transformation happens in the classroom for some students. For others, it is in a counseling center or tutoring space. For others, it may be the friendly public safety face that they see navigating our places and spaces. All of our students can benefit from that infusion of confidence that comes through a trusted individual whom they know wants to see them succeed and is excited about supporting their success. I know how motivated we all are about seeing our students succeed. Students like Bahamin Farouk, for example. Bahamin has developed an interest in attending medical school from a genetics honors course where she studied the biology of aging. Obviously, she is an inspired, ambitious student. In other cases, a student's transformation impacts others around them, their family, peers, future jobs. Creating a college-going culture clearly has a ripple effect in families, such as Iris Chaubert, a single mother of 3 children who wrote that being a role model for her children was one of her primary motives in attending Montgomery College. For each of these students, you have been instrumental in teaching, advising, counseling, encouraging, and so much more that connects them with their potential. Whether you are in the classroom, a counseling or advising center, the financial aid office, student life, community engagement, or anywhere else, you can see how impacted each of these students has been. You have contributed to the creation of true transformation. We need to take that transformation to scale for all students because our students will enrich the life of the community. Now, as you know and we'll hear more about, we are committed to ensuring all students have an educational experience of economic, community, and social impact. When I look at MC students working in high-impact professions, I know they are strengthening our communities. For example, Viviana Bentley, MC alum, who works as a biotechnology process engineer. Catherine Shelton, MC alum, who works as an aerospace engineer. Or MC graduate, James Geekus, who is now working in cybersecurity. These 3 students are examples of agility and vision. They adapted themselves while at the college to meet the opportunity they would find in the workforce. The speed of change in technology and scientific knowledge has never been more rapid, and our graduates are building bridges to products and services that depend on that knowledge. Simultaneously, political and social discord seems to grow stronger each day. So we must prepare students to be civically engaged and to contribute to the public good. For those reasons, we must embark upon systems change in a way that fuels the change we seek. Our transformational aspirations are guiding our sights and fundamentally anchor our strategic plan. Each of us, all of us, are woven in to the fabric of our strategic plan in unique and critical ways. You could be in the classroom or in the library or in the financial aid office. Perhaps you are out in the community recruiting or creating language access or carrying that vital message of belonging to people who may not see themselves engaging in post-secondary education. Whatever your role, you are engaging in an essential part of advancing access, completion, and post-completion success, the framework for our transformational aspirations and the foundations for systems change. Now, creating a college-going culture must occur well before our students arrive. We are going to leverage current and new strategies involving high schools, community engagement centers, correctional facilities, and other spaces where our future students gather. We will draw residents to our locations and go to them where they live, study, work, and play so that every resident knows about the opportunities that exist right here in Montgomery County. That's one of the reasons why we're giving away Raptor Ready scholarships. 738 have been given away thus far. And why the Montgomery College Foundation is offering scholarships. $3 million in FY23. Right? We also distributed $2 million additionally more to student account balances in June, just part of the $37 million in higher education emergency relief funds that the college has given to student aid since 2020. We will continue to advocate for legislation such as increased Pell Grant amounts and Pell Grants for short-term experiences so that every student who wants to attend is able. We are watching and advocating for new legislation, the reauthorization of the Farm Bill, which we want to see have additional tools to combat food insecurity among college students. Just as important, we will support each other in identifying new, equitable, and student-centered strategies that enhance access. We will identify, create, and quickly assess and adjust, and repeat that process so we can drastically enhance the college-going culture. That's access and our role. Now, completion is the next component. Right? We will focus on providing experiences of economic, community, and social impact. First, employable skills. Our classrooms will be even more tightly connected to the needs of the marketplace. The second is credentials that lead to jobs with family-sustaining wages. Third is civic engagement, because our social justice-driven classrooms and spaces create people who share their talents with their communities. They may become public servants or entrepreneurs or residents who defend inclusion and equity in their neighborhood's politics. We know this because students share their stories with us. Students often recount participation in ACES or ATPA, a scholarship from the foundation, or other experiences that changed their trajectory. These students are now in change-making roles and want to pay it forward. That's powerful systems change because it extends beyond education into our communities. Finally, post-completion success. This is really about social justice and transforming our society. Right? Part of that path to making such bold, large-scale change is through partnerships. Recently, in June, I attended the Jobs for the Future annual summit, and they have a bold 10-year goal as well. Their goal is that 75 million people facing systemic barriers to advancement will work in quality jobs in 10 years. They are seeking to transform lives by enhancing economic mobility. That should sound familiar to us. Enhanced economic and social mobility. The college is playing a role in a much larger national push toward opportunity, equity, and intergenerational mobility. When we join with groups like Jobs for the Future, the Aspen Institute, Achieving the Dream, Strategic Horizons Network, we share our resources and knowledge. Speaking of sharing, we are also looking beyond post-secondary institutions, with groups that also engage and have the desire to make a wider impact on solutions that impact equity. Right? There are many such groups that share our vision for impacting our community and enhancing the public good, and I know we will continue to engage with them and find new opportunities. As we move into the future, with this next step being fall 2023, access completion and post-completion success provide the framework upon which our transformational aspirations rest. They were born from listening to you and many of our other external stakeholders and your desires for what could be and what should be. They were integral to the inception of our strategic plan, which is being brought to life with your work, our work, over the next 5 years. This semester is the first of many, which will be energized by our shared vision. After a year of diligent planning, architecture, and collaboration, we have so many pieces in order. The most important force, though, is you. I'm going to repeat that. The most important force, though, is you. You are examples to our students in so many ways. So, I remind you, in the age of mental health challenges, unlike what we have seen before, to take care of yourselves and each other. Take time to go to your places of peace and center yourselves. Recharge yourselves. We all work very hard because we believe in our mission. Caring for ourselves, though, is absolutely critical. At the same time, let's be models for adapting, innovating, and learning. In our professional lives, quick and continuous learning is the new normal. Being a lifelong learner is also an extraordinary way to inspire both our students and each other. You provide the drive that will inspire students to discover their passions and unlock their potential. Along the way, they will transform lives and enrich the community. On our very best days, we will get to see how we are changing the world. I look forward to continuing to work with everyone at the college to ensure that every day is one of our very best days, where we see lives transformed and the community enriched. Thank you. On that note, we are going to prepare to hear from some amazing students who will join me on stage in just a few minutes. While they are making their way to stage and getting settled, I would like to share with you a video of our students' voices. So please take a look at the screen as we prepare ourselves.
Nobody in my family has gone to college. I come from a family of immigrants from El Salvador, so this is very new to all of us. And it's actually also one of the reasons that I chose to come to Montgomery College, because we weren't too educated on the types of financial aid available to us and the scholarships or any of the stuff I could apply to in high school to get some financial support if I wanted to go to another school.
I wanted to save money, and I am definitely doing so by starting at MC and then transferring. Another factor was definitely location. I can commute and I have other responsibilities at home, so I feel like attending MC gives me the opportunity to keep those responsibilities and doing them well while still studying, so I really like that.
And when I was looking for courses to take, I could only think of my local community college. Now, what I did not know is that you had that biotechnology program, which blew my mind away because I knew it would be an easy transition to come into from a biology field.
I went to high school back in Colombia, so I didn't have any SATs. So they already had a structure, very organized path for foreigners to be able to pursue and continue their education.
I didn't intend to be a communication major, but during my senior year, I completed this CCMA program where I was certified with my as a clinical medical assistant. But I figured out that I didn't like that. That was not my passion. And during the pandemic, my parents both lost their job. So we started a clothing business, and I plan on taking my communications degree to help expand our business.
Macklin Business Institute has been great. It's all centered around experiential learning, and we have an entrepreneurial leadership program that we host in our program. It's called Enactus, and we have a bunch of different projects. For example, the Starbucks on campus is our business that we run as a learning experience where we do marketing, operations, accounting.
The Renaissance Scholars Program, they have just supported me. They've given me opportunities. Multiple professors that I've had meet with me one-on-one, go over my writing, go over how I'm presenting myself in class, how I'm going about things. It's just every step along the way, people have been there to support me academically, socially as well, through social programs. There's one program called Impact MC that I'm in, which kind of helps with that thing of volunteering and being an active member of the community.
Financial support, I have received it from the ACES family, also the MC Raptor scholarship, I believe, which has helped me just focus on my education and not worry so much about my financial situation.
I have gotten different kinds of support from MC. I have gotten financial aid. And I would say that a program that I really do appreciate is ACES. And I just loved having that support because I am a first-generation student, so I don't have that help from, say, my parents. So having other people who have already gone through the process help me is amazing. I love it.
My professors do a great job of weaving in a lot of content from outside of Montgomery College, like videos or textbooks or things of that nature. So I think classes are kind of set up in a way where you get a comprehensive idea of whatever you're learning about, and I think that's very practical for people once they move on from Montgomery College, because they'll have an idea of what the world thinks or what the outside thinks, not just what's going on here.
It's always good to keep your doors open and be open to new ideas, and MC is, I think, a great place to do that.
I'm grateful to have completed my 2 years as I did, with great classes, great professors, counselors, and experiences that were invaluable.
I had not gotten any interviews the entire time before entering into the boot camp. And within 2 weeks of being at the boot camp, I received my first interview, my first job offer, and before the boot camp ended, I had so many interview requests that I had to turn them away.
I got a fellowship at Johns Hopkins University this past summer. I was there for 10 weeks, I think. I was living on campus. I was doing research, which was directly correlated with what I was doing in my classes, like my honors classes. My professors are the ones who recommended it to me. They wrote recommendations for me for the program. I literally used materials from our class in my research project, so it literally just felt like a seamless transition into that.
MC is very committed to their students, to their growth and their progress. They do anything in their power for us to succeed.
Montgomery College saved my life, literally and figuratively. You don't know the pressures of suddenly losing your job. Your job is your worth. And when you don't have your means of income, it can take a toll on your well-being. So to stumble across a program that is complimentary of the Department of Labor, that you don't have to come out of your pocket for, that the only thing it cost me was maybe 10 minutes of a commute, it was really, really a blessing and a godsend. And I thank Montgomery College for stepping in and helping me towards my career goals as they did.
Hi. Good morning. How's everybody doing? Good. You ready to have a conversation? Yes. All right. Well, wonderful. I want to welcome our students. And as you know, Montgomery College is a student-centered institution. So conversations like this are immensely helpful. We can hear from your lived experiences. That is something that really motivates and inspires us all, especially in the light of our new mission in helping students discover their passions and unlocking their potential, right? So you can be awesome, right? And fantastic, right? That's our goal, and you'll potentially transform lives, right? Enrich the community and change the world. And so we're here today to hear from each and every one of you, and we're just really excited that you're here. I think if we could just share our excitement real quickly to kind of a tension breaker. Can we give our students a round of applause? Thank you all so very much. So just a few questions. Why don't we just begin? Tell us a little bit about yourselves, your name, your major, and your career.
Well, thank you very much. My name is Jean-Claude Lucono. I double major in biomanufacturing and biological sciences. I inspired to become a pediatric surgeon. Yeah.
Pediatric surgeon?
That's right.
All right.
Yeah.
My name is Jefferson Vasquez Reyes. I am a biological sciences major, and I aspire to be a psychiatrist and someone in academia.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Malika Mason. My major is pre-med biological sciences, and I aspire to become an endocrinologist.
Hello, everyone. My name is Vilma Ortiz. I am currently a business major, hoping to concentrate in the human resources career.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Good morning, everyone. My name is Malaika, and I'm a cybersecurity major at MC Rockville campus, and I'm looking forward to have a great conversation.
Good morning. My name is Joshua Hayes. I am a computer science major. I'm not really sure exactly what I'd like to do, but it'll be in technology somewhere.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Elias Garallo. I am a business major, and I hope to one day have my own business in the food industry.
Great. Well, welcome. Thank you all so very much. Thank you for choosing Montgomery College. We're excited that you're here. And why don't we start off with our first question? Could you share with us a little bit about when you hear the mission statement, right? This is our new mission statement that is within our strategic plan that students helped us to craft. Students, faculty, staff, so many people helped us to craft. What does that mean to you? How does the new mission statement resonate with you? Please.
The mission resonates with me because there was a moment in my life where I wasn't sure what I wanted to pursue as a career. After high school, they tell you go to college, pick a career, stick with it, graduate, and that's your life. But I think I wanted something different for myself, and I just wasn't sure what. When I came to MC, I took a risk. I stepped outside of my comfort zone, and that helped me discover a skill that I didn't know I had. Hence my decision to pursue business. And by discovering that skill, I continued following, that skill. I continued following that journey. I got involved with the school. I met a lot of people. And so far, my time here at MC, There hasn't been a single person who has rejected, helping me, who has rejected giving me that support that I need as a student. And that's why the part where it says MC is where students discover their passions and unlock their potential to transform lives. I really resonate with that specific part of the mission. And I feel like I belong, and I feel like I'm still on a great learning experience here at MC. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Anybody else would like to share?
Me personally, I see our mission statement as being completely true. Not one part of it is a lie. I've come and I was in sophomore year of high school. I knew I was going to be wanting to go to MC. Both my sisters came to MC, but I didn't really know what I was going to be doing at MC. All I knew was, I'm going to end up there. And never in my wildest dreams did I think I was going to be student body president going into my second year at MC. But that was all due to the structure of MC. We have an incredible faculty and staff group that support us and help you discover those passions and discover what you're into, unlock your potential, and see what you really are capable of doing. Without those teachers, without faculty members like Ms. Lisa Hackley, my director of student life, or Dr. Eric Benjamin, I wouldn't have the mentorship that I needed to pursue something like student body president. So, yeah.
Thank you. How about anyone? Jefferson?
Yeah. So, as it says here, the entire statement now for Montgomery College is to help students discover their passions and help change the world. And before coming to MC, I was not as motivated as encouraged to go into medicine. I actually initially wanted to be an engineer. And the reason why MC allowed me to discover my passion is because of the coursework that it provides and the resources as well. After being able to take certain courses in biological sciences and being able to take now the opportunity to participate in internship activities such as the one that I just acquired during the summer at George Washington University School of Medicine and the American Psychiatric Association, I'm more than ever encouraged to become a physician because initially I was living someone else's dream, which was my father's. He wanted me to be an engineer because he saw them at his work site, but he knew he wanted the best for me. And I do not blame him for that. But always as a child, even through my childhood experiences, being my grandmother and mother's caregiver, I knew deep within me I wanted to be a physician in order to be an agent of change for my own community, because there is a large gap for Latinx physicians. There was just an article written by the University of San Francisco stating that right now there's a big gap for Latina doctors. And that is impacting healthcare in the entire California region, which is heavily populated by the Latinx community. So I knew I had to take a risk, and Montgomery College taught me how to do that. Thank you.
Thank you. It's all so very inspiring. Joshua.
I'll just speak to the fact that Montgomery College provides an environment that is A1, a class above everybody else that you would assume would actually be providing the infrastructure for you to be learning in. Say, for instance, I just finished biology, and I actually took the biology class in a Johns Hopkins lab with I used the microscope that they use at the NIH. These types of equipment is provided for you just for you to use for everyday use, and a lot of people take it for granted, but we have facilities and have access to things that are incredible, and this is something I deal with every day. So that's one of the ways that they actually help me to pursue my passion in technology.
Thank you.
Originally, I'm from Pakistan, and I moved to US in 2020. In the beginning, it was kind of hard, but the kind and generous staff of MC, they helped me a lot. And after coming to MC, I explored that there are a lot of opportunities that students can proceed into. As a cybersecurity major, I really want to play my part in the society for a better and a peaceful environment, and by using my skills, I want to just change the world. Thank you. And I don't think so there is a better institution than MC to explore yourself, and I'm proud to be an MC student.
All right. Thank you. Yes.
Well, I want to start off by saying that the mission truly resonates with my experience at Montgomery College. Being the eldest daughter in an Indian immigrant household, I already had a lot on my shoulders, but MC was a place where I started. It gave me the university life that I was looking for, the opportunity to balance extracurriculars, academics, everything all together. By joining the Student Government Association and Student Activities Board, I was able to realize how I could be a leader. Everyone can be a leader, everyone in the audience. Everyone is a leader in their own way. I realized that. I thought that I wanted to do something in medicine, but after taking a few classes, I developed a deep interest in cells, hormones, and specifically the disease diabetes. So I aspired to become an endocrinologist with the goal of making the United States a diabetes-free country. I want to do research as well as patient care to make a difference in people's lives and change the world.
Wow. All right. The future is bright. I'm totally blown away, and this is the first question. I think it's second question. Everyone has had an opportunity, right? I'm going to make sure. Share, please. I'm sorry, John.
I have to say that I love this mission statement because I see myself in it. I witness every aspect of this mission statement, and I also feel like a sense of belonging. Ever since I was little, I knew within me I had some potential. I had something within me that would like change the world in a sense, in a way. But I didn't have the courage to like develop it on myself. But when I came to MC, throughout the coursework, the mentors, people I've met at MC, I'm able to say that I can see my potential. I can see what I have within myself. That's why I decided to become a pediatric surgeon to help, children which are the leaders of tomorrow. Like trying to change the world in a certain way, if you understand. Yeah.
Try, please. Yes, absolutely. Thank you. I mean, the continuous theme of changing the world, right? Impacting society, just resonates so profoundly. And I thank you all very much for sharing. I mean, you mentioned sense of belonging, which is one of our 4 strategic plan goals, that everyone is able to experience a sense of belonging. And some of you talked a little bit about this, but I want to create a little more space and opportunity for any other thoughts around how your experience has helped you to discover that passion that I can feel, and I'm sure our audience members can feel, and unlock your potential. Any additional thoughts on that? Some of you started to probe that a little bit with your initial response. I just want to open it up to see if there's anything more that you'd like to share. Joshua, I see you shaking your head.
It's real easy for me to sort of I've been fully indoctrinated into MC. I'm trying to hold back, because my story is so profound, and it's been a real awesome experience for me to be a part of Montgomery County in general. And the way you guys have entrenched yourself through MC it's sort of one entity. Montgomery County, MC, that's all one thing. And I've benefited as a transplant here from all those particular rungs. And I'll save it for a little later on, but my story is based primarily on y'all's ability to give somebody a chance. If you're willing to work at MC on any capacity, there's infrastructure there for you to do that. From the first moment I stepped on the campus, I met with Ms. Shakenna Johnson, the advisor at Germantown, and she gave me no excuses. It's like, you want to work? Okay. So right from the bat, I was offered an opportunity to sort of serve. And up until that point, my story leading up into that point, I was homeless like maybe 3 years ago, roughly, sleeping at Rockville Station, roughly. I came here from Louisiana, so I already came here with a purpose to sort of go beyond what was expected of me from where I came from. I'll save you that. But definitely, I came here and the infrastructure from all the rungs invited me wholeheartedly. It's like, oh, you want to work? We'll start your Workforce Montgomery. Oh, you've outgrown that? Okay, well, you can go to our continued education. Oh, you've outgrown that? You can do this. You can become student. I'm president of SGA. I'm a Renaissance scholar. I'm a presidential scholar. I'm on the dean's list. Right. Thank you for allowing me to share that, but I definitely wanted to, impress upon you that you guys are doing God's work. I was watching this telecast live through MCTV. Shout out to you guys. You guys are doing God's work. Live on Facebook. Last year, as I transitioned from rapid rehousing, which is sort of the last step of homelessness, into my own apartment. And it's just crazy that I'm on stage right now. It's just a... Thank you for letting me share.
Thank you for sharing, Joshua. Thank you for being part of the MC community. Thank you so much. Other thoughts? Some other thoughts?
Well, for sure, the Student Government Association has helped me understand, most importantly, what the word advocacy means, which is a big word in healthcare as well, advocating for your patient. Whether you're an interpreter or a physician, you have to understand how you're going to advocate for them, whether it's for an insurance company, which unfortunately is a case, or for a physician who is not trying to do a procedure that can be life-saving. Understanding what it meant at this level was very important to me because I will understand it by the time I am in the position of being a psychiatrist. I will be able to implement that in my practice, or if I'm lucky enough, when I am a dean at a medical school, I will be able to advocate for my own students as well. But another thing that also helped me, that the college provided me, was its coursework. Like I said, I was a confused child coming in thinking I was going to be an engineer. And through taking certain biology classes and also psychology courses, in the psychology courses, you temporarily go over the neuroscience part, which is heavy in psychiatry, learning the nomenclature of the brain, neurons, axons, dendrites, all that cool stuff. Combining that with biology, I later understood, hey, this literally sounds like psychiatry. So I got an early pilot test of what that career was, and through that, I was able to find and access internships that more than ever have made me passionate about now wanting to become a doctor. I recently was able to go to the APA's meeting in San Francisco, and there I was overwhelmed with the support of the American Psychiatric Association. But also I knew at the same time, if MC was not here, I was not going to be there. So I'm more than grateful for all the faculty and staff here. Shout out to Dr. Lance, who was my first ever biological science professor here. So I'm more than grateful for everyone at the college.
So I don't know if everyone heard it. Thank you, Jefferson. I thought you said Dean of Medical School, but what I heard was President of college or university overseeing multiple healthcare opportunities. That's what you said and what I heard. We can talk later. Thank you, Jefferson. Other thoughts? Yes, please.
So as we are talking about MC's experience and just kind of feedback, I started working at MC as a student assistant in Student Life, Rockville campus. I really want to thank you, Miss Lisa Hackley, Director of Student Life, Rockville campus. She's not in this room, but I hope she's watching me live. Thank you, Miss Lisa, for everything. You have been a great personality in the office and out of the office. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. Other thoughts on?
Well, I want to say that Montgomery College has helped me develop my leadership skills. MC is a place that if you're willing to make a change, there are people out there to help you. All thanks to Ms. Kimberly, Director of Student Life at the TPSS campus, who has helped me in this journey at MC. I was able to form a club, the STEM club at the TPSS campus for like-minded STEM individuals, helping them, and this actually helped me foster my love for STEM, science, technology as a whole. Starting with just one member, now we have more than 25 members and growing. So this definitely shows how MC has aided me in unleashing my potential and uncovering my passion.
Thank you. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you, Malika. Thank you very much. Vilma, you were going to share some thoughts.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Williams. You read my mind, Molly, because I was also just going to extend a huge thanks to Ms. Kimberly Jones. She's sitting right here in the audience. I feel very connected to Mrs. Jones because she was one of the first people who I connected with when I, really started getting outside of my comfort zone here at MC. And I don't know, I still remember this text that she sent me one day. She said, "There's a reason why we met, and you're gonna find out." And it's been about a year, it's gonna be 2 years soon, and I know the reason why we met now. And it's great to feel that I have that support with my institution. It's great to feel that someone cares about you, someone cares about, just seeing you reach far in life. So just want to say thank you, Ms. Jones.
There's a reason why we met, and you're going to find out. And now, that's awesome. Thank you. Any other thoughts? Any other thoughts? Please.
I think something that sometimes goes unnoticed or kind of is underrated is the group of people you surround yourself at MC. The people, the students and the faculty are very bright, they are very smart, and that kind of pushes you and inspires you to want to be smart and want to be bright. I wasn't a very good student my first semester. I was kind of a big procrastinator, and but involving myself in SGA, I would find myself sitting in the Senate room with other senators who were studying and who were working, and if they weren't doing something school related, they were already thinking about the next project or the next homework. And I felt like that's something I needed to implement in my life and kind of stop pushing things off until the end and kind of take action early. And I wouldn't have kind of come to that realization without my fellow students. I think I would have continued just, pushing along, getting past, but it's the great minds of our students and the ambition that they have and the drive that they have that it's kind of, what's the word? Can't find the right word right now, but it's infectious. That's the word. It's infectious. You're infected by it. You feel like you want to be just as driven as them, just as ambitious, and overall that then creates a much healthier, driven college campus.
Thank you very much. Thank you for sharing. Any other thoughts before we, Jean, please.
I have to say the experience at MC, it's beautiful. I got to MC, I came across these leadership workshops, emotional intelligence workshops that I've partake myself, and I came to realize you don't want to go through college, be a person with let's say 5 PhDs, but you get into the work field, you don't have a good personality. But so I'm thankful to MC. It's given me the proper way to be viewed in a society. So regardless I have all these degrees as well, my inner self, it's pretty much appreciated by the society. So I have to thank MC for that. Yeah.
I think that's extremely important, right? Those soft skills, human skills, power skills, how we see each other, right, and interact with each other, right? How our lived experiences help us to form partnerships.
You don't want to hire someone with skills, or you don't want to hire someone and just with a little comment they get so aggressive and they want to push you away, So you do need people with someone who's sociable, good attitude to like work for you and serve you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think any other thoughts on, before we're going to transition to our last question, kind of bring some things together, because I feel like people have hit on so much of, what we want to do at Montgomery College. Obviously what we are doing, how we can think about what does transformation at scale look like, these experiences for all students, right? Equitable experiences for all students. So as we close out with our last question, and I don't know about any of you, but it's hard for me to sit here. I'm so excited. All the energy, I feel like I want to walk around, but I know that'll ruin the shot. So I'm doing my best to sit here. I hope everyone there is okay. So when you think about, and again, several individuals have shared a little bit about, life transformation, about changing the world. Any final thoughts that you want to share with everyone here, everyone watching, in terms of how MC has supported that, right? Transforming your life and your goal to continue, I will say, to continue to change the world. Yes, Vilma, please.
I know MC has transformed my life because I now feel a drive within me that I didn't feel maybe 2 or 3 years ago. I'm not fully, how can I say this? I don't fully understand it yet, but I know that it's there. I know I want to do better. I know I want to keep working on myself as a leader, as a human being, as a civilian, here in Rockville, Tacoma Park, or Germantown. And I want to do better for my community, my Hispanic community. Being exposed to the environments that MC, provides, those safe spaces, being around people who empower you to do your best, just being exposed to those environments, I think, over time begins to reshape the way you view others and the way you view your communities around you. I want to share this with everyone because it really is special to me. But aside from academics, I also partake in the Student Government Association, and I'm currently the secretary. I'm very excited to begin working more in depth with advocacy. It's not just about bringing a complaint and hoping that someone will do something about it. It's actually bringing the complaint and working towards a plan, working towards what can we do as a student at MC to make this better for others, or what can we do to change this? There's SGA, and then there's the Latino Student Union, who started from scratch, basically. After COVID, no one really, wanted to step up, but I saw that opportunity laying there. And something in me, and I think it's the drive that I'm talking about, something in me told me, I want to take that opportunity and I want to make something out of it. And thankfully, LSU has now over 30 members, and we're growing, and we're going to continue advocating for the Hispanic community because there's a lot of potential within my community. I feel very proud to say that I am a Latina in business. There's not a lot of Latinas in business. I'm proud to say that I am working with the Latino Student Union Club, and more especially, I'm proud to say that I am from Montgomery College. So that's how I know that MC has transformed me. And I'm ready to get out there and do the work, so.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you. And please, you sharing the student lived experience with us, right, so that we can continue to adapt. Thank you, Velma. Thank you. Elias.
Our world is our community. For me, I see my community as being my world. If I'm not able to make a change in my community, how can I expect to make a change in the world? MC gave me opportunities to make an impact in that community. Whether it was through Smart Sacks programs where we package and redonated food to families suffering from food insecurity, or whether it was getting students registered to vote, I was doing something. I was helping. I was making an impact. And I could feel that impact, and it really stuck with me because it's a good feeling to feel like you're making an impact and helping someone out. But I wouldn't be able to do that without MC. We had orientation last week, and I was an orientation leader. And we got our last 10 minutes, we got to kind of speak about what are some things we wish we knew to all the new students. And my message was that MC is the more you give, the more you get out. If you come here to do 2 years and just breeze on by and then transfer to another college or just leave, then that's what you'll get. But if you're here to make connections, find opportunities, seek those opportunities and push them forward and push yourself, then you're gonna not only see a change in yourself, but a change in that community. Because MC provides that opportunity. And I'm very thankful to MC. I'm very thankful for the opportunity it's given my family, it's given me, and I'm proud to be not only a student, but also a leader here at MC.
And we are all so very proud of you. Our world is our community, right? Absolutely. Thank you for sharing your thoughts. Other thoughts? Yeah, Jefferson.
So a lot of people don't know this story because I don't share it often, but before I came to MC, when I graduated high school, my overall GPA was a 2.82. And it's because I had no ambition and no drive within me. My 12th grade year, I literally call it my restructuring period, because from 9th to 11th grade, I had no passion within me. I didn't care to read, I didn't do homework. God, who knows if I was still that Jeff. I would not have been able to do any of my coursework as of right now. But there was a book I picked up during this period of time in my life where I didn't have any aspirations, and it's called Mindset by Dr. Carol Dweck, professor of psychology at Stanford University. And for years, she's done research where she studied the brains of children and gave them an environment that either put them in a growth mindset or in a fixed mindset. And after reading the book, I truly understood that challenges are meant to expand our learning. And there's more evidence in that with a term called plasticity in psychology, which means the restructuring of the brain. So when I learned this, I truly knew that I had the drive within me. I wasn't dumb, because I felt dumb for a very long time. And I began to, instead of avoiding my own challenges, I began to take them in, starting with math, which is why I wanted to be an engineer, with all those math professors happen. But I decided to no longer say, I am terrible at math, but instead say, I am being challenged by it, but I will learn it. I will eventually get it. And this change was piloted at Montgomery College. I didn't get good financial aid from any of the other universities. I didn't get into many other universities either. I had this one full ride from the Posse Foundation, and it did not follow through. So I felt the need to go to Montgomery College, and many people asked me, you live in PG County, you come to MC? Yes, I do. I'm Metro. How? By God's grace. But the point is that coming to MC and adapting this new mindset, I immediately understood that I was not the problem, it was my mindset. I had a 4.0 my first semester. And I'm very proud of that, because that was a testament also to the support that I received from faculty as well. Another thing that MC did was it provided me an attitude of service. For a very long time, it was in me, because coming from an immigrant household, you always learn to serve. Unfortunately, sometimes you learn to serve because it's a requirement. There are jobs where you have to attend at a restaurant. My mother cleaned bathrooms for a majority of her life. That was service, and it was not voluntary. But whenever she came home, she made sure to educate me about the importance of respecting a CEO and a janitor at the same level, because that both equates to service. And so, being at MC, I now decided to take on roles, and shout out to Dr. Jones. I say doctor because it will happen. And I say that because when I came to Raptor Week, she was the first person I ever met in faculty. And I immediately asked her about a student that she said transferred to Hopkins. My aspirations were so high, they still are. And since then, we were in touch. But she knew that I had something within me that I had to understand. And I'm still doing that till this day, and I've been able to hold roles in the SGA, but now I'm proud to say I'm now the Student Council Chair in Governance. So I've just reflected on how far I've come, how much I've grown out of my shell, and I'm just very proud to say that MC is teaching me how to use my voice, because before I felt like a carpenter who had a toolbox and did not understand what each tool was meant to be used for. Now I know what each tool is meant to be used for, and I can make whatever I put in my mind. Thank you, MC.
Thank you, Jefferson. You are using your voice fantastically. It's wonderful, wonderful. And I will, as a little a side note to the group, it's not on the professional week schedule, but Jefferson will be providing a lecture on growth mindset and fixed mindset and the interconnection of psychological plasticity. So we will get that updated calendar out for you. That was the energy around you talking about that was pretty awesome. Thank you, Jefferson. Other thoughts? Joshua?
Yes, I just would like to talk to all the Joshuas out there that may be on live, that has already registered and is looking forward to the fall. Please be proactive about your education. There's a lot of resources at MC that nobody uses at all. And it's incredible because it feels like just a misuse of allocated funds, let's just say that. There is Montgomery County, and I'm saying this as a new transplant here, has invested a lot of money in all of the infrastructure that you have access to that most people don't even show up for. I have been able to be a part of Renaissance Scholars and Presidential Scholars, and all of these organizations would come with an even more focused group of opportunities for you to utilize their resources. But transferring is hard if you don't understand the process, and that process starts in the fall. So as you get ready to sort of transition, if you're in the second year, as you get ready to transition into, as you get ready to transition, you should make sure that you're prepared. You know, applications are due in March. Where are your letters ready? And there's resources to help you do all of that. There's nobody in the labs. Well, I'm speaking about Germantown campus, that's where I spend most of my time, but there's a lab that's empty all the time. So make sure that you're utilizing resources because they're free. They're providing them to you at no charge other than what's obviously in your packet, but I don't really see that money. But you don't have to exchange or pay an admission fee to go to the resources. And on the campus that I mainly go to, we have some really exclusive resources, especially around STEM. And of course, there's a lot of dual enrollment and a lot of early college kids who obviously, I know at that age I was not understanding what was provided for me either. But I just want to make sure that I reiterate for people who are coming in who may not have had the experience, because it takes a while to adapt, and by the time you get used to it, your 2 years are up. You know, it happens so quick, so if you don't get a running start, to sort of start getting ready for class, understanding the resources that are provided for you in the library, like even online, our database, there's several thousand database points available for you just on the website, an abundance of resources for you to use. And I just wanted to make sure that I reiterated this because this is more of a housekeeping deal, because as an advocate for MC, I've lobbied on several different platforms for opportunities for people to get this particular, and I'm also a foundation member, so please donate often and frequently. Make sure that you donate. We'll make sure to get you that information if you're not. But make sure that you understand the things that are provided for you, because I'm seeing this as a person who I've exploited it all. I'm in every lab all the time, even though I feel like I have a grasp on the material. I'm there just because I know that this is something that that's precious. So make sure that you're utilizing the resources. Come in day one, making sure that you know who your counselors are. You don't have to be aligned with anybody in particular. You can make an appointment. These are, just points that I feel like that if you don't understand right from the beginning, by the time you realize that it's an opportunity for you, you won't actually, it'll be time for you to leave. So, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Joshua, and thank you for your message to all the other Joshuas. I want to share with you, that was also a message to all of us as we continuously think about new and different student-centered and equitable ways to get all the resources that students need, right? So that's it's a reciprocal situation, right? We both have a lot of expectations here, and we want to make sure that we're in the places and spaces. So I'm sure to be continued with that conversation, because I'm positive you have a lot of great ideas about things that maybe could be happening differently, that students would kind of avail themselves of more resources. So thank you to the message to students. It's also definitely a message to us as we continue to seek transformation at scale for all students. So thank you. Other thoughts?
So besides academics, MC provides a platform for students to socialize, for example, like clubs, Student Government Association. I'm part of the club. I'm the secretary of South Asian Culture Club. Me and my friends, we just started the club, and now we are up to 50 members, which I'm really proud of, that we are representing our culture and our countries here at MC, which is a very diverse community college, and one of the best, definitely. And I just really want to thank you, the fabulous staff of MC.
Thank you very much.
I want to say that Montgomery College has completely transformed my life. From being involved on campus, being part of Renaissance Scholar, clubs and organizations, MC Leads, big shout out to MC Leads. It was a leadership program that I got in my first semester, and I completely changed from being that shy, quiet girl to being on a panel, being with the president right now. I have grown, completely. Also, I've been able to manage community service hours. I've got over 100 community service hours this past year, so being involved. All these things show how MC's nature is supportive and nurturing, which showed me my academic and personal potential. In the end, I just want to say that making a change in the real world, I have done a little bit. Being a first-gen pre-med major student, I have made an impact in the world. My younger sister now wants to become a doctor just like me, a pediatrician. So I think I'm making the change, but this is just the beginning. And thanks to Montgomery College for making this beginning. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. I want to make sure everyone has an opportunity with the last. Jean.
Well, I have to say MC has transformed my life in numerous ways. From a personal standpoint all the way to a professional point of view. MC, there was a time where, I was the person where my whole family had to depend on me. I lost my job, but MC was there to give me a job. There were times where I didn't have what to eat, and I had to run to the Shaw Center, depend on them to give me food. When there were events, I'll get the leftovers, save them in my fridge, and feed myself from that. So MC was there for me, during my difficult times. There were a time at 2 years ago, if you told me to come to this stage and just face this audience, I wouldn't do it. My first interview was at MC, and it was Student Senate at the time, which is now SGA. I started the interview, it was on Zoom. I was nervous, I was shaking, and a couple minutes into the interview, I saw tears coming out my eyes. I was like, this is not for me, and I shut down the interview because I couldn't continue. It was my first time, I've never done it in my life, but Ms. Kimberly, which is the advisor of the SGA, she called me, she texted me, she said, you got it. Get back on there. And then I got back on the Zoom, the panelists, people who were giving me questions, they encouraged me to go through my interview, something I've never done before. And as I was saying before, MC helped me unlock some potential that I knew I had in me, but I just needed that support, that help to show it. Professionally, MC gave me opportunities to network with people in my field, know more about my field, what I want to do. The reason why I'm double majoring right now is because, I took a class in cell culture. I love it. I love cells. I love the idea of trying to get medicine to target a certain disease using genetics. So it's a beautiful idea, and as I said before, it also helped me to become a better person in a society. So words can't say it, but I'm truly grateful for everything that MC provides. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Jean-Claude. Before we close out, any final thoughts? I want to make sure, yes, please.
I want to say to the students out there that please take advantage of the resources that MC provides, because other students pay dollars to take advantage from these resources, but you have it for free. So please take advantage, because that's the reason we all students are here at the panel with the president. So please take advantage.
Thank you. Thank you, Malika. Any other additional thoughts before we, please, Vilma, please.
Just how my friend Malika said to the students, I also want to say to the faculty, the staff, the administrators, thank you for all the work that you guys do for us. I'm not sure if you hear, thank yous from students that often, but I definitely want to say that on behalf of all of us, I think. Thank you. Thank you for your work. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your support. Please don't stop smiling at us every day when we come into MC, because sometimes we just need that smile, and vice versa, I know. So thank you so much, and yeah, just keep doing what you do.
Thank you all for being here, sharing with us your lived and very personal experiences, discovering your passion, unlocking your potential, right, to transform lives, enrich the community, and change the world. You've just given us so much inspiration as we think about the path forward. So I want to say thank you. I will also say thank you as well to the awesome faculty and staff, as Vilma just said, who helped to identify and create and sustain these experiences. So we are so appreciative of our students, and as we transition, how about we give our students another round of applause for helping us kick off Fall 2023. Who's ready for Fall 2023? Really, that's the best it gets. That's I don't know about everyone else, but I feel like I'm floating right now. So thank you all for being here. We do have some quick updates, and I want to invite some folks out. So first, I'll ask individuals to come out. You'll hear from Dr. Monica Brown. She's going to provide, our Senior Vice President for Student Affairs. She's going to provide an update on the enrollment management plan. After her, you'll hear from Mr. Sherwin Collette, our Senior Vice President for Administrative and Fiscal Services, who will provide an update on our facilities master plan. And then closing out the announcements, you'll hear from Dr. Stephen Cain, Chief of Staff, Chief Strategy Officer, who will provide an update on the search for our Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, College Provost. So thank you all very much. I look forward to Fall 2023 and beyond. And I'm going to invite Dr. Brown to come out now. All right.
Good morning. I'm not sure who thought it was a good idea for me to come out after the students, but let's give it up for the students again, please. They are amazing. So it's my privilege to share with you an update about the enrollment management plan. It's exciting to be able to talk about this plan and to introduce it officially here at the fall opening meeting. So just in terms of our enrollment management plan, before I say anything about the details of the plan, I want to first thank you all for the time that you took to attend feedback sessions that were held during the fall semester of 2022. The information you provided was invaluable in helping us develop the enrollment management plan. The plan reflects the collaboration that occurred amongst the senior vice presidents and chief of staff, which was led by Dr. Kimberly McNair, interim senior vice president, associate senior vice president for student affairs. The opportunities to redefine a more dynamic student experience, to reverse downward enrollment trends, motivate our call to action to develop and implement the enrollment management plan. It is with this sense of urgency that we also developed a bold enrollment goal to achieve a 12% increase in enrollment by the end of fiscal year 2025. The enrollment management plan is organized around the following 3 overarching themes and has associated tactics to help us achieve our enrollment goal. Goal 1, strengthen the college's market position by expanding MC's reach through targeted marketing, partnerships, and additional academic, cultural, civic, and support options to strengthen the appeal of MC. We will recast and elevate our brand and distinction as a destination college for all students. Goal 2, improve outcomes from access to enrollment through more intensive and intentional outreach and service to both credit and non-credit high school and adult learners in our service area. Goal 3, address and improve MC's rates of student success, retention, and completion with strong collaboration and coordination of existing support programs and by developing and implementing more focused direction and services. Whether explicitly or implicitly, everyone has a role in student success. Our enrollment management journey requires collaboration across all college locations, divisions, departments, and functions to meet our transformational aspirations of access, completion, and post-completion success. So I invite each of you to engage in these efforts and conversations. In the coming days, you can expect to see a copy of the plan as well as additional communication and updates to keep everyone engaged with this important work. So thank you for your time and attention and for joining forces with us around this important work. And now it is my great pleasure to welcome to the podium Mr. Sherwin Collette, who will provide the next update on the facilities master plan.
Good morning, Raptors. If I could, can we just give it up for Dr. Brown for being first to come after the students? So this morning I have the opportunity to share with you an update on the facilities master plan. What I think is important as we sit here in this context at the PAC and listening to the powerful words of our students, if we think for a moment about the facilities master plan and what it is, and imagine for a moment, 10 years from now, how do we think? What do we think about our facilities? How should we construct, design, reimagine our facilities to meet the programmatic needs of the institution? And while the facilities master plan is a required artifact that we submit to the state, we have this important opportunity to define how we may think about our spaces and places, how we can reconceptualize not only new buildings, but existing facilities, and think about new ways to align those efforts. As Dr. Brown mentioned about enrollment, as we think about growing our enrollment and growing our programs, we need to ensure that our facilities keep pace and, in fact, foster and support the kind of institution that we seek to have. So it's important then, as we think forward about where we go next, that this work isn't done simply by us. We have engaged a Canon Design, an award-winning architectural firm, to help us with this effort. They have been engaged in this type of work with many other institutions of higher education, and have to date done an admirable job in helping to facilitate those conversations. Next. So many of you have participated along the way in sharing your thoughts. We are at the point right now as we work to develop the detailed plan. However, there are opportunities for you to continue to share your thoughts about what we should be thinking about how we design our facilities for the future. We began the process with a period of discovery. We wanted to learn, to hear from each of you, to hear from our students, faculty, staff, our communities about how and what things we should be thinking about for the design and use of our places and spaces. We have used that feedback and input to develop themes that are now crystallizing to inform the detailed plan. That plan also incorporates feedback from engagement sessions with our communities that serve each of our campuses and the anticipated 4th campus in the East County. We are then have also done studies around transportation, looked into the future around programmatic needs, and are now putting that plan together. But we still invite you, though, to provide input. Your thoughts do matter. And what we want to be able to show in the coming months, weeks, months, is feedback on your feedback. So that as we build a plan, and I know each of you has spent time reading the 200-300 pages of the existing master plan, there's credit for you. But we've really then worked around an engagement strategy that sought to learn from you, whether they were direct in-person engagement opportunities, whether you participated virtually. Those efforts have all been collated so that we're continuing to learn from you around what you say. So what's been emerging from that feedback thus far? Next slide. So we asked, among many things, in a word, how would faculty and staff describe the college? What does that look like? And again, it's not simply for us to get great bouquets and hear all of what's wonderful and working, but to learn where might we improve? How can we be better? How can we better align our places and spaces with the programmatic aims and aspirations of the institution? You see here among these different words, and they're very instructive around how could we and should we be thinking about new ways to think about our facilities designs and uses, wayfinding, placemaking, and a sense of building a sense of community. Our students, too, have been engaged in sharing with us, as you well imagine. They aren't bashful about sharing their thoughts about what we should be contemplating for our facilities in the future. Inputs around new opportunities for cafes, for the ways in which facilities can support greater senses of community, and ways in which we can think about areas for wellness and social gatherings are all emerging as part of the feedback efforts that we're incorporating into the plan. So among these emerging perspectives, our real big concerns about student success remains. Concerns about and opportunities for us to think about wellness, how we do a better job of placemaking and wayfinding, how we create community spaces Where are those places that we describe them as cobwebs? No one goes there. People avoid them. How might we think about where the front of our campuses are? How do we create more welcoming and inviting spaces? How we think about new learning spaces? How we think about opportunities for collaboration, for being more culturally responsive and engaging in important ways. And so these are really powerful efforts that I think are informing our plan. And as I said before, there is an opportunity going forward nonetheless to still to provide input. Next slide. So we have a website. In each of these engagement sessions that I referenced, we collect the frequently asked questions. I invite, not above bribing, you to certainly participate, share your inputs, thoughts about how we make this plan better. How do we think about not only in the big projects that you may think about, but how do we modernize existing spaces, make them more relevant and accessible? And so I invite you to visit our site, share your thoughts. There also will be engagement sessions. We heard from you before where we had online sessions, and we'll repeat that again so that you can see what we have learned and what's emerging as we prepare at the end of this year to take the plan to the Board of Trustees for their action. We will be sharing with the President and Cabinet in September through November as we prepare to take the plan forward to the Board. So take this opportunity to jump in, share your thoughts. We want to hear from you and look forward to hearing from you. So at this time, it's my pleasure to welcome to the stage Dr. Stephen Cain, who will provide an update for you on an important search at the college.
The future is so bright for our students, I gotta wear shades. Wasn't that a great panel? Such an inspiring way to start the year. Loved it, absolutely loved it. So I'm pleased to be here today to join you and provide a brief update regarding the search for a new Senior Vice President for Academic Affairs, College Provost. This Senior Vice President is the leader of academic affairs and serves as the Chief Academic Officer. They inspire curriculum innovation and set the tone for student success with dedication to our mission and transformational aspirations. The position prospectus, which is a document for candidates, was developed based on input gathered during college-wide listening sessions last spring. The draft prospectus was reviewed by academic affairs leaders, members of College Council, Faculty Council, and leaders of the 3 unions. Along with other information, the prospectus lays out 5 major opportunities and challenges for the new Senior Vice President. You can find the complete prospectus and other information about the search at this website. The site went live on July 17th when the announcement was placed in numerous publications and higher ed websites. Let me say a word about the search process. The Search Advisory Committee has been formed and begins its work this month. Over 90 people expressed interest in serving on the committee, which will consist of 25 individuals who are a mix of faculty, staff, administrators, and students from across the college who represent the college's commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion, with 3/4 of the members being from academic affairs. The committee will also be joined by a search advocate whose role is to enhance the equity, validity, diversity, and inclusion in the recruitment process. We are in the advertise/recruit phase of the search now, with the help of the search firm Greenwood Asher and Associates. First interviews are expected to be conducted in October, with finalists expected to visit the college in November to meet with as many people as possible across the college community, including you. So, what can you do? First, help recruit. Share a link to the website with your professional networks. Second, nominate highly qualified individuals by contacting Greenwood Asher and Associates. Their contact information is on the screen and at the search website. Greenwood Asher will contact the nominee and invite them to apply. We're planning for those, third thing you can do is to meet the finalists when they come to campus. Those meetings are scheduled right now for, save the dates, November 13, 14, and 15. I hope we meet those dates, but please be flexible if the dates change. But these are the targets that we have right now. And fourth, once the new person is appointed, welcome them to their new role. Thank you for your support in this important process. Now I'd like to welcome back to the stage Dr. Benjamin for closing remarks.
Thank you, Dr. Cain. It's always so beneficial to hear from our students. They are amazing. Can we get another round of applause for them? And to hear the college updates. The work that you do is amazing, so a round of applause for that. We have a lot of exciting work ahead and a great mission to accomplish. I know we will find ourselves all engaged in the great work of the college as we enhance our connections, cultivate a sense of belonging to enhance effectiveness, and to increase impact in the community. Thank you all for joining us for today's meeting, in person or virtually. Please refer to the closing meeting website or the QR code for additional details. The opening meeting website is information for the additional events for today and many of the events for the remainder of the week. Thank you and have a wonderful year.